14, 2023 Greater Clark County School Board of Trustee meeting to order. Ms. Markowski, if you know that all the board members are present, if you would all please stand with me and say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Strong school voices. Good job. Board, first item up would be the approval of the agenda, and I move that we approve the agenda as presented. Could I please have a second? Also, thank you, Mr. Jones. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Next would be the regular meeting minutes, and I would move also that we approve those. Could I please have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments about those? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. The next would be public comments. I do not believe we have any. Thank you. It's great. And so we're going to jump right into the meat and potatoes of this deal. The major funds monitoring report.
I'm so excited I can already contain myself.
Well, you just.
I'm here to serve at that pleasure. Tonight we're nearing the end of the year. This is going to be a really great moment for us to monitor our sustainability on the majority of our achievements. So we're at October, and we are ending the education fund with $14.7 million. Again, I have not transferred the remaining funds that goes into our operations until the end of the year. We will see a influx of our student aid to increase, which we're very aware. That's why we can make a commitment to the raises that occurred in the negotiations that we did for education fund, which is primarily teachers and aides that paid for there. So that's why we're able to reward them accordingly. So we filled that goal of getting that money into the classroom. So that's what we're still heading down that route. And it's notable that this time last year we had $11 million. So we're going to be able to reach our goals this year. Your operations fund did end in the red at $1 million. Remember, it doesn't bother me. Shouldn't bother you because there are taxes in December. But we're not in the hole as much as we were last year. Last year, 1.4 million in the hole. So we're seeing some cash flow improvement there. Your debt service is what it is. It's just the tax money that remains there. I reduced that when I don't need as much from the taxpayer on that. So we ended this debt service at 4.6 million. Last year was 5.4. Pension fund was ending at 715. Last year it's 590. The reason is because I needed to control that tax rate each year. So this money will be utilized in 24 to pay off their pension debt, which is a fantastic thing. And finally, a rainy day ended at 6.1 million, and last year's 3.7 million. So we are heading towards our goal there of 10 to 12 million, being happy with. Again, I always say the size school district should be at 16 million, but we set that first goal to see if we can attain it and maintain our other funds with our proper operating cash balance. If there's any questions, I would have to address them this time.
Or, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item up will be our consent agenda. Or do I have a motion?
I move we approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Any questions or comment about anything on there? Okay, all those in favor of the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstained. All right, the next would be Katie Hutchinson, gifts to buildings.
Absolutely. We had a ton of gifts. It is the season of giving. $1,000 anonymous to an Angel Tree program. Tons of sponsors, Volkswagen of Clarksville, Jeff Watler of Clarksville, Clark County Sheriff's Office, all to the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. Also First Harrison Bank, our educational foundation coming through for several of those. We had also, I just want to point out, $3,000 from First Saving Bank donated to the theater department for sound equipment for Charlestown Middle School. lots of Charlestown Middle School are killing it. Look at the volleyball team and donations for them. I move that we approve the gifts to buildings that have been submitted in the amount of $21,623.80.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Mustaine. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. We'll move right along to action items. The first item here will be cancellation of teacher contract for Mr. Norman.
Yes, Board, thank you. All of you are aware of the background on this situation, as all of you were here for the hearing last Monday and listened to facts from the case and testimony from the case for about 6.5 hours, I believe it was, last Monday night. So I'm just going to cut right to the chase in terms of my recommendation. I am recommending the approval to cancel Mr. Corey Norman's teaching contract.
Board, I move that we approve the cancellation of Mr. Norman's teaching contract. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Any questions or comments or? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. All right, the next item will be the findings of facts.
Yes. As part of this situation, we have to present a findings of fact to the board to approve in regards to the details of why the board voted the way it did. So I'm recommending that you approve the attached findings of fact that were submitted by Michelle Cooper.
Board, do I have a motion for the approval of Michelle Cooper's findings of facts?
I move we approve findings and facts submitted by Michelle.
Thank you,
I'll
Ms.
second
Hutchinson.
that.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. All right, next will be the resolution for the supplemental payments. Ms. Hilton, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good.
Good. Okay, so tonight we're going to bring to you a resolution for some supplemental payments. So stipends that are granted outside of the teacher's contract for certified staff members must be processed as supplemental payments if they aren't for professional development and aren't in the agreed upon master contract. The resolution attached is to grant supplemental pay to the individuals listed. As we work through the transition of the new master contract, we may need to ask for approval of supplemental pays occasionally in unforeseen events. And just so everyone's aware that we do share those with the association beforehand to make sure everybody's on the same page. So with that being said, we would like to ask for approval of this resolution.
Or do I have a motion for the approval of the resolution for the supplemental payments? Thank you, Mr. Jones. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Any questions or comments? We all know what that's about. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Institution for Multisensory Education.
Yes,
Dr.
good
Carpenter.
evening, Board. As you know, we have taken a deep dive into training our staff with Oregon-Gillingham approaches with all of the new legislation regarding dyslexia. And we will continue to take advantage of every opportunity we can while we have these opportunities available before it's all connected to ESSER 3 money. But recently, we sought the IDOE Competitive Science of Reading Grant for students in grades K through 3. And I'm very excited to announce that we've received $257,274 in addition to our ESSER money. So we are feverishly trying to come up with as many different deep investments that we will really see repercussions and sustainability for several years to come. And so this will be part of that plan. And we will be hosting another week-long training, June 3rd through the 7th. And we plan to host 36 additional teachers who have not already been trained in grades K through 2. And after participating in this professional development, teachers will be better able to assess, evaluate, and teach children how to read, write, and spell proficiently. The targeted audience will be K through 2 teachers and other priority positions to support our GCCS literacy programming. 36 teachers will be trained as part of this, and they will also be paid a stipend for those 5 days or all-day trainings in the summer. And all necessary materials to implement the program will be provided to the participants. And it's, again, the first week of June, and it will be funded by this new grant award from the state.
Awesome. Board, do I have a motion for the approval of the multi-sensory education Orton Gillingham agreement for the summer of 2024?
I vote that we approve the education agreement through Orton Gillingham.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Do I have a second, please? Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments for Dr. Hartley? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Or call. All those opposed and abstaining. I know what you meant. All right, let's keep moving. Indiana University, Greater Clark County Schools Dual Language Immersion Program. Dr. Hartley, thank you.
Yes, last year we worked with the Clarksville Redevelopment Commission, and they were so gracious to award us an allotment of a new type of grant that they provide based upon the enrollment numbers, our ADM count of students who reside within the Clarksville zip code. We received, I believe it was around $124,000. It was over $100,000, but I think that's what it was. And so we put together a plan. They wanted it to have long-term objectives and goals to really support and build capacity in the future workforce. And so one of the things that we felt like would be very beneficial for our students to have the opportunity is a dual language immersion program. And basically what this means is you started out in kindergarten and students would be selected, and there's different models, and so that's what we're doing with this money is this year planning on how to best implement what program is best suited for our district. And so basically the students would, half of their day is taught in English and half in Spanish. And then as they progress through from K, then we're going to have 2. We'll have 1 in K, and those kids that were in K will continue in 1. So eventually all the way up, and we will see several students who will graduate bilingual and ready with the tools and skills they need to be productive members of the workforce. So this year, with the money we received in January, this is sort of a planning year, if you will. And we just last week had some participants from Parkwood go out to New Mexico to learn, and they did some school visits to see different models in place of how this would work best for us. And so this is part of that planning process, and it's a contract with Indiana University to continue to do a book study with Dr. Vesna Dimitriska, who is the coordinator of Global Education Initiatives, and Indiana University will serve as our consultant through the exploration phase of this learning for our staff to know how we will move forward with it.
Okay, that's cool. Board, do I have a motion for the approval of the Indiana University Greater Clark School Dual Language Immersion Program Agreement?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Mustaine. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Paul. Any questions for Dr. Hartledge?
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, the 2 groups, English is their first language, English is not their first language. 2 groups, right?
Well, they're all in one classroom.
Okay.
And what other schools have done typically, because parents are really excited about this, they have like a lottery registration process.
Sure.
And then, for example, one of the models that was very appealing to us is the 90-minute block of language is untouched, and it is all done in English, and that goes also hand in hand with all the science of reading requirements.
Okay.
And so this particular model that piqued our interest is, it starts out where half their day is the math portion of the day. And so there's different models that you can look at as far as what's taught in Spanish and what's taught in English. But we will probably be, especially because Parkwood is 51% Hispanic, and they need to get a good foundation in English as well to impact the rest of their learning in the other content areas. So that's really what this year is about, is doing some book studies, doing some site visits, learning what different ways we can implement this and what's going to work best for us.
If my child was in that classroom and they were English speaking, would part of the goal be that they will be multilingual?
Yes, they're going to learn math in Spanish. And then there's another model that they'll do like a
God
week.
bless them.
Part of this is a week, like you would do a week in Spanish, a week in English. But I mean, there's all different ways of doing it. So
Okay.
that's what we're trying to determine is what we believe will fit best for us. And then also, obviously, when fifth graders then move into the middle school, how will we sustain that? How are we going to build capacity, staffing, because we have to have bilingual teachers. So part of that is, how do we make sure that we can continue this and really invest to make it successful? So that's where we have sought the experts at Indiana University to help us through this planning process.
It's exciting.
It is. We are excited about
Any
it.
other questions? Okay, all those in favor of the approval of the Indiana University Greater Clark County School Dual Language Immersion Program Agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Okay, keep moving along. Now we are professional development. Get your teach on.
Yes, it is another high-ticketed item that we will be using our ESSER 3 learning loss funds to pay for this. We are very excited. The state actually has a contract with Get Your Teach On, but they offer them periodically at different locations in the state. And of course, as you know, it's hard for us to get subs to cover classrooms. But this is a very high-energy, motivating type of program that we believe is a one-time opportunity to be able to provide it. We're going to start with a list of 150 participants. We expect that we'll have a waiting list. So Get Your Teach On specializes in professional development, training, and encouragement for educators and administrators in the form of conferences, school and district workshops, curriculum, resources, and events. The Get Your Teach On conferences and trainings are known for their passionate celebration of teachers and their ability to inspire lifelong learners. It is led by highly acclaimed educators and authors, Hope and Wade King, and is the parent organization of the worldwide Rock Your School initiative, which encourages out-of-the-box teaching to maximize student engagement. Greater Clark County Schools is known for providing high-quality PD with our in-house experts. However, this program is known for reinvigorating passion and igniting energy for the hard work our teachers do. This contract will allow us to provide the outstanding opportunity to approximately 150 teachers. Topics will include platinum planning and instructional routines, data-driven instruction, effective mini lessons, science of reading and writing, making educational magic with music, using games to increase academic retention, coaching teachers, primary writing, the great debate, and several keynote presentations. And again, this will be funded with ESSER 3 funds, as well as teachers will get a stipend for these 2 days. They'll receive $600 per day. It's a 2-day contract, and it'll be here till June 10th and 11th.
Where do I have a motion for the approval to Get Your Teach On? 2 days
Mr.
out?
President, I move we get our teach on.
All right, Mr. Paul.
And I'll second that.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments for Dr. Hartley? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Thank you. Next would be bus route bids.
Hello, yes, I'll do bus stop route bids tonight. We're asking the board to approve some bus route bid sheets to explain about each of the routes. Bus route 181 has been open for almost an entire year, so we have to really take a look at that, and in order to entice our drivers or contractors to bid on it, this particular route will be paid a little bit higher for 2 reasons. Number one, we're gonna lock in on a price for 8 years, and this route has our most behavior issues, so we have to kind of compensate for that. Secondly, Route 161 is $25 more than our last contract of the same due to our corporation pay increases. So the contractor bids on it, we're compensating those drivers as well. Their contractors are increasing their pay as well to keep drivers. We understand that concept of needing our employees. Route 12C was split into 2 routes. Elementary is 1 route, and the middle school, high school is now 1 route. This is due to the fact that we had several current contractors that had a middle, high, and several had an elementary, so we're going to allow them to absorb a route if they choose to bid on that. So it is my recommendation that the board approves the bus route bid sheets for the 4 routes that we're requesting.
Mr. President, I move that we approve these bus routes.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson, and I second that motion. Any questions or comments for Laura, Ms. Schubert? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Thank you. Are you back with city of donation too? All right.
This is a very exciting one. The City of Jeffersonville has graciously committed to donating funds in the amount of $268,000 to Jeff High School Athletic Department for the purchase of new video boards and a sports table for the Jeff High Gymnasium. As a reminder, the city donated $450,000 to Jeff High, of which $400,000 was used to purchase the athletic bus, leaving $50,000. Those 2 amounts added together will allow them to buy the indoor video board and the LED scores table. The estimated cost for the purchase of this equipment is $318,000. And by accepting this donation, this purchase can be funded. I thank the City of Jeffersonville and the Mayor for investing into Jeff High School and our students. I am honored to recommend to the board to accept this donation that will be used to make this purchase. I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Board, do I have a motion for that approval?
I motion we accept the donation.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Thank you, Ms. Perkins. I just really want to throw out my thanks to the city for supporting us and believing us and moving this thing forward like we know it can and get along. And I know hasn't necessarily been the thing in the past, so I'm really grateful for that positive energy we got going. Any other comments?
Yes, I'd like for the minutes to show that the redevelopment commission are actually the ones that are providing the TIF dollars.
Correct.
So when you hear that word, it's not always bad. They're providing the TIF dollars to fund this.
Yes, that's the funding source from the redevelopment technique.
Yes.
Any other comments? Okay, all those in favor of the approval of the donation from the city of Jeff to Jeff High School, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Okey-doke, we're moving right along here. Churchville Cafeteria Improvement, permission to advertise.
Correct. This is a long time waiting. We are going to change up your Jeff High cafeteria. So tonight my purpose is to request permission to conduct that advertisement. It is an RFP. I have included some of the equipment that needs to be handled through that process. We are anticipating the board to accept the recommendation of a successful bidder to be presented at the December 12th meeting. I recommend that the board of trustees grant permission to advertise for the Jeff High cafeteria project, noting that I didn't bring the food service report, but as you can see in the consent, there's $2 million. We are not allowed to keep all that money, so we will gladly spend it in the areas that we need to. You're spending it in North Haven and in Jeff High to start accommodating that requirement.
Board, I move we authorize permission to advertise for the bids for the Jeff High Cafeteria project. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. All right, moving right on to more fun stuff. HVAC.
So we've already come to the board with the new Charlestown Elementary School You know, we have, of course, our CMC, and we only pay 2 contracts through these projects, the other's Perfection. They're responsible for the HVAC and the roofing. So tonight I come before the board attached to the agreement with Perfection Group to install the HVAC mechanicals for Pike Elementary School. The scope of work was planned in the new elementary projects outlined will be supported by the 22 new elementary bonds and completion bonds. The maximum price guaranteed is not to exceed $7.574876 for HVAC mechanicals. This does include contingency. It's a little bit different than what we've done in the past, because what happens is when you get to a certain point in the project, somebody says, ooh, can we move this wall, because we'd like to have this a little bit. Well, that tends to affect everything everywhere. So what happens with contingency is that is brought forth to me, and if they have declaration for me to tap into that contingency. So there's a set dollar figure there. And that's going to be on both the roof and here. So it is my recommendation to the board to approve the HVAC mechanical contract for this project.
Board, do I have a motion for that approval?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
I'll second that as well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Paul. I just one question, how much is the contingency, what's the cap on it, do you know?
$125,000.
Okay.
Okay? And if it's not used, I'm going to build up to
Right.
that, the contract amount.
Gotcha,
Right.
perfect. Okay, yeah, contingencies can be tricky. So-
Right, and that's why there's an approval process, so once the change goes through, CORE actually has to approve it with the recommendations that's made, and then it comes to me from CORE, and I sign off on it. And then it's sent to Perfection and CORE, so they know how much contingency's in there to handle any of the adjustments. So, that'll work real well on that, because when you're getting this magnitude, and instead of coming to me.
I'm used to them being 10%, that's why I was asking, so it's no big deal. So that's good, that's
Here's
awesome.
our thing, if we don't ever have any changes, we would spot on. So,
Yeah.
but we have encountered that maybe if we
Sure.
have adjustment here and there, that we thought that in the note of time and not to stop a production of any progress on anything, that this will work well.
Absolutely. Okay, are we ready to go? All those in favor of the approval of the HVAC mechanical contract for the project at Pike Elementary, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Okey-doke, last deal going.
This is very similar, attached to the agreement with Professional Group to install roofing and wall panels for Pike Elementary School. The scope was planned in the new elementary project outline will be supported by 22 new elementary bonds and completion bonds. The maximum guaranteed price is $6,808,757. I am recommending that the Board of Trustees approve the roof and wall panel contract for this project and support it as noted before. This also includes a contingency of $87,900. Again, the same rules apply. If we do not cut into that, I don't pay, the amount minus $87,900 there. So, there have been, a couple times where they may have extended and the wall panels have to be adjusted for different things. So again, it works better for our timing and for product and production. We're on a set time that we send them. So,
Gotcha. Board, I move to approve the roofing and wall panels for the project at Pike Elementary School. Can I please have a second?
Yes.
Questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstained. Okey-dokey, thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's awesome. That worked out. Okay, moving right along, Mr. Jones, do you have anything you'd like to add this evening? Ms. Hutchinson?
I just want to say how thankful I am for the Wellness Center, as I have had both COVID and flu day, and how thankful I am for the teachers. I hope everybody has a thankful Thanksgiving.
Awesome. Mr. Paul?
Yeah, I'm thankful I'm vaccinated in the city. I wanted to say thank you to the board for all your support. Thank you to Tammy for the wonderful. I want to say thank you to our students, our families, and our faculty. Have a very blessed Thanksgiving season, and we'll see you soon.
Ms. Mustank?
Nothing other than happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
There you go.
Well, I do have something to be thankful for. I'd like to say thank you to Isaac Parker. He took on the job of head coach when nobody wanted it. He brought the program back to the point to where this is a job that, somebody else will be, happy to have. If you ask anybody where we were academically, financially, even in the win column, we were better off now, that he has been here coaching at JHS than we were before. There's only, I think, 4 sectional titles that JHS football has ever won. He is actually a part of 2. He is a member of our sectional team as a player and as a coach. So he's no longer coaching Jeff High football. He resigned earlier this week, but the program is better that we had him than never had him at all. Thank you. And also, one more thing, I think that probably shouldn't go unsaid, that it is also because of him that we also had to look internally this week, do a lot of homework and think about how we do things, our best practices, the decisions that we make, not only as school board members, but as teachers and administrators, and how maybe we could actually do things better and actually be greater. And, prop up our schools as not only a place to, go study and learn, but also as a place to go to work as employees and as adults. So, thank you.
What? You make it hard to follow. Thank you, though. That was very nice. Not only is our football coach, we're better off for having had him, but he's certainly an officer and a gentleman. And I appreciated that, the way he dealt with our kids.
All right, I would just like to say happy Thanksgiving to the board and cabinet. I would like to thank Samantha Pearson, your team, for spending nearly the night with us, and the board as well, and working very hard on that situation. Then I guess the last question I have is, Mr. Freeman, did you or did you not give out big candy bars?
I did. Still got some left over.
Okay, well, you know what? We got this.
Yeah.
Candy bars. I'm just saying.
To be honest, Kim gave out all the peanut M&Ms, so I didn't get those. She held back all the Kit Kats. We got a ton of those. But she gave away all the Snickers, so a lot of the good stuff's going on. The rest of the stuff's all right.
Kit Kat.
On that.
You gotta put this in a little bit beforehand. You know how that rolls. I grew up with 5 brothers and 1 sister. We were hiding drumsticks before. My brother would ask me, how'd you get the Twinkie? It's been gone for 2 weeks. Well, you looked up the cabinet and I know where the beans are. That's where it is. Anyway, thank you all very much and hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Mr. Lawford?
Well, I want to thank Dr. Hartledge and her team on working on this grant. It's for a little over $250,000 in funding that will help our students, help our teachers. Also want to thank the City of Jeff and the Redevelopment Commission for the money that they donated to Jeff High. That will be a great addition there. And also what it will do for the radio TV program there in terms of opens up more possibilities for them to do some things with their programming. Also a reminder, Thursday at 6, we have the Elementary Girls Basketball Championship at Jeff High. So that starts at 6 o'clock. Should be always an exciting game and raucous crowd there, at those games, so it'll be fun. And then happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you.
Smoked turkey at John's house.
I answered a lot of phone calls. You have something to say? Yes, you do. I know you do.
Remind everybody about the Blue Ribbon Open House at Utica.
Yes.
That'll be on Monday, November 27th, and from 6 to 8, and it'll be a great program.
And the thing, the perpetual hops, the Amy Schellenberg.
Yes.
That's this Friday, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, that's this Friday.
Okay.
If anyone has questions, they can email me.
Okay.
There's a link.
Yes, I have the information.
It's to benefit a scholarship program.
Correct.
Yes.
And I believe the Utica team goes to Washington, D.C. Tomorrow,
Yes.
correct? They leave and are there through Friday, I believe, so,
Yes.
for the celebration and all that.
Let's not forget the open hospital.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I move we adjourn.
I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.